Hello, hello, hello. Oh, that was a weird. That was
Hello.
like I did like an English accent. I don't know why I did that.
Because it's Friday.
It is Friday, and welcome y'all to the Hire Me podcast. My name is Chris Lynn, and I'm joined, as always, by my amazing co-host, and I'll let her introduce herself.
My name's Heather Balcerek. What's up?
And man, if y'all did not see our thumbnail, you missed a little hint that we are going to be celebrating two things today.
Yes.
And so Heather, should we do like a little background on like our own, like what's going on in our own lives and like why we started this podcast real quick?
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's a great idea.
Cool. Yeah.
Do you want me to start, I guess?
Or
do you want to start?
It doesn't matter. You can start.
As everyone can tell, we plan these things out so well.
So well. Well, by the way, real quick before we hop into this into story time, if you're listening to this, if you're watching live, feel free to add your comments, questions, concerns, whatever you want into the chat. We love seeing those pop up and answering any questions you might have, or riffing off of what you've got. This is a very relaxed live show. But the Hire Me podcast is really focused on elevating today's top talents and helping those who are job seeking find work in a new way through these video interviews. So the way we got started on all this, Heather, how did we start?
Well, way back in January of 2023. Yep, just a couple months ago. So I was laid off from Amazon in the January layoffs. First time I've ever been laid off. Knock on all the wood, the manufactured wood from IKEA, all those things. First time it's ever happened to me. I was definitely in a state of like, oh no, oh goodness, what am I going to do? I've never had a job search like this. It was very overwhelming. To go through this process and being a podcaster, I was immediately like, okay, how to differentiate myself. Ooh, maybe I'll do a podcast, like a video resume. Awesome. Great. Cool. And so my husband and I were at Disney World. And I was thinking about this and talking through this because while we're in line, that's the only thing that we could think about because it was early February and it was kind of like a get our mind off things trip because we're season pass holders. So it's just literally like, let's go and use some hotel points and stay and go see Mickey. So we were over there and in line and I'm talking through this. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to do an audio resume, like I could do that for other people and it'll give people like practice and, help them like kind of get some of those jitters out, help them prepare some answers. And so I text my friend Sarah and I'm like, Sarah, what do you think about this idea? And then Sarah, being the lovely person she is, immediately texts me back and she's like, oh my goodness. So there's this guy named Chris and I'm actually talking to him about something similar. Like I'm talking to him today. Let me let you know as soon as we're done. Awesome. Cool. So in line, right? So she's going about her day. I'm in line still and I'm looking up names. I'm like, hire me. Like that's how I was like, that's what I want to title it. Like there's not a podcast called Hire Me. There's not a website. So I immediately in line for I think Avatar at Animal Kingdom is where I purchased the domain name hiremepodcast.com and started working on the branding colors.
Yeah. And from there, right, we got kicked off and we've interviewed, I think, over 30 people at this point. So yeah, my story, right? I got laid off. I was affected by mass layoffs back in October, at the end of October last year, 2022. And yeah, I was like, all right, I was frustrated at that point, like 3 months in, like I haven't made any traction. There's more and more layoffs happening. I know I'm not the only person dealing with this. How does someone get recognized? How does someone get noticed? And one thing that Heather and I both have is our experience in podcasting, and we're like, look, we can use this skill to help other people get noticed. Because when you say that, hey, I've been interviewed on a podcast before, and you can showcase your skills. It just makes you stand out that much more. And so if you yourself watching this, or know someone who is on the job hunt, um, get connected with us, and we are more than happy to have you on and host you. It's a 10-minute interview. You can we're able to showcase you in less than 10 minutes, and then you can share that with whoever you would like. And then and we've had several people get hired at this point, and from there it's up to you if you want to keep it up, or if you want to take it down. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is a completely free resource, and we're indiscriminate. We don't care how many years of experience you have, what role you're in, what industry, whatever. Like, just
Yeah.
here to help you out.
If you're looking for work, we want to help you. We want to elevate you and give you a different just a different type of platform to use in so many different ways. I've seen it used a couple different ways, obviously promoting it on LinkedIn, putting it in your signature, putting it on your resume, sending it to the hiring manager or the recruiter. Like, there are so many ways you can share it, and that's what it's there for. Like, just share as much as you want. But you can also connect with people if you find somebody that's doing something similar to you, or maybe is farther along in their journey. And you're like, oh, hey, I'd love to understand how you're doing. You made this transition or whatever. It's also this networking opportunity to bring people together.
Exactly. So, with that, now that you all know our story, and that we've been job hunting, Heather has a little announcement on her job search.
So I am happy to announce that I will be taking down my green banner because I start a new job on Monday.
So for those of you who are watching or listening, just know that Heather and we both have our drinks, and we're going to celebrate. So I'm going to crack this open.
Yeah, let me open up my little bottle. Ah, nice. Yeah. Nice. All right, ready? This does not do that well of a. That doesn't do. Sorry, it doesn't pop like anything else, but we will.
Yes.
Do a little ASMR.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Celebration pour. So cheers.
Cheers, Heather. And congratulations.
Announcement. Thank you very, very much. So Chris, do you have something to share as well?
Yeah. As of today, I just signed my offer letter for a new role for myself. So very exciting there as well. So you and I both have something to celebrate. So cheers to that as well. And by no means does this mean we're stopping this podcast, by the way.
Okay, hold on, Chris.
Yes.
Hold on. You also deserve confetti.
Yes. And Tori, thank you for the congratulations for Heather. Yes.
Thank you, Tori.
Heather and I both know that this job search is a slog. Is that the right word?
Yeah, it's a slog.
Yeah. So
it's a struggle. Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's all of the emotions all at once.
Yeah. But actually, you know what? Heather, we didn't really have much of an agenda today. We had some things that we wanted to talk about, but now that you're about to start your new role and you've been job hunting, what has been the biggest, and you and I are both in talent development, so what is the biggest thing you've learned through this that what is the biggest thing? Yeah. What's the biggest thing that you learned through this, either about yourself or through the process, that you think can help other job seekers that are out on the market that are still looking?
This is only a 30-minute podcast, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're already 10 minutes in, so you only have 20 more minutes.
Okay, keep it. I'll try to keep it short. Because I learned a lot of things. Because, like I said before, like, I've never been laid off, and so I've always gone about my job search differently. But I think in this climate, like, the first several weeks were very chaotic. It was very much like just took my resume, just added some things and started sending. Um, it was very haphazard. It was not calculated. Once I kind of got myself together, calmed down a little bit, and was utilizing, a bunch of different, people that I follow on LinkedIn and YouTube, um, and things that I learned from the outplacement group that I was working with, like those things. Once I kind of took those things and like made it understandable to myself, like what I needed to do. And like I made myself a list and really started to understand some things. That was when I started getting the most bang for my buck, is where I felt the best about my resume, where I felt the best about when I had an interview. And I will be very honest with everybody. I mean, I didn't apply to hundreds of jobs. I was very calculated in how I applied to roles. Um, I tried to be. I had my moments of weakness. Do not worry. I did pray and spray. I applied to Starbucks to be a store manager. So, like there were those kind of things that I applied. I was almost a barista at a local coffee shop for just some income. So, like there are okay, those are perfectly okay positions. Let me just put that out there. They are, but it was very off base of what I do. And it was literally just like, I need something. And so once I got really targeted and knew what I wanted, that's where when I interviewed with 2 companies aside from Starbucks because they did call me. um, but I only interviewed with 2 companies. I made it to the hiring manager interview for one, and then waited several weeks before finding out I didn't make it farther. And then the second role that I interviewed for, that's the role I got. So I know it's rare for this to happen quickly. Um, and sometimes it's right place, right time. And so I don't want people to give up. I don't want people to hear this and be like, oh my gosh, like that happened so fast for her. I've been here for 6 months. No, like that is not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is thinking, okay, I've been doing this for a while. I've been applying to hundreds of places, but I'm not getting any traction. Let's back up a step. Let's
Yeah.
reset our mindset and figure out how how we can kind of start over and collect ourselves to present ourselves in our best with our best foot forward.
Yeah.
Hopefully that made sense.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's such a long, grueling. I was about to say adventure. It's not an adventure. It's a quest. Quest
Quest.
is like an adventure, but quest sounds not as fun. Either way, it's such a difficult, thing and chapter in our lives. And to answer my own question, right? Like the thing that I learned, unfortunately, I've been affected by pandemic layoffs the last 3 years, multiple times. And so this process was not new for me, yet I definitely hit more low points in this process or this time around. Um, and it definitely feels like that, you just want to give up, the weight of the world is on you. But, know that the thing that I learned is that know that there's so many people out there that are willing to help you and have your back. And it is okay to be vulnerable and express that. It is more than okay to express it and share it in a very public setting like LinkedIn on social media and just say, "Hey, I'm stuck. I need help. Um, this is what I'm looking for. This is the situation that I'm in." And I don't know about you, Heather, but I've actually noticed more of those people being more open recently on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, I've been job searching for 5 months and I'm starting to, come into financial trouble," or, there's so many stories, but there's so many opportunities for people to help one another. And so, there's a community there for sure. So lean on that community, lean on the people that you're around, and know that it's perfectly okay for you to feel the way you're feeling, perfectly okay for you to ask for help. No shame in doing so.
Yeah. I second that wholeheartedly. The number of times I've texted you, Chris, and just been like, "Oh my gosh, hard day," or like, I'm
Yeah,
frustrated," or whatever the case may be. Having those people that you have that kind of trust with, and staying in touch with people, and being that support too for other people. I try, going through feeds and stuff, I try to, if somebody says they got a new job, celebrate that. If somebody's having a hard day, support that. If I can, if I have the chance to comment and can make, you know, more than like something like helpful, because I'm bad to overthink what I want to write. So I apologize if I only support your subject or your post and I don't write anything. It's because I'm like, I want to say it right. And then I don't have time. That's a me problem. Um, but know that I am wholeheartedly like supporting you, clapping for you, whatever the case may be. I am there to celebrate, but I'm there also to support you, and so that you're not alone in
yeah,
this kind of stuff.
yeah,
Um, Anytime you're job searching, whether by choice or not, it's it's hard. And I'm sure I've mentioned this like a couple of times now in these lives, but right after, um I can't remember how long ago it was, but probably sometime into February, beginning of March, I met with, I was introduced to a coach. Her name is Velma Knowles. She is on LinkedIn. Um, but she is like a leadership coach. And so I'm starting a coaching business. And so leadership coaching is what I do. So talked to her, and she told me, she said, the best when I was laid off, it was the best decision anybody else had ever made for me. And that has stuck with me so much, because that day when she told me that, I was like, well, I aspire to be able to say that one day. I aspire to that. And I can say right now, I am 90% there. I got about 10% to go, but 90% there to say that that was the best decision anybody else could have made for me, was for me to be laid off in January, because I've gone through so much stuff. I lost my cat, Milo. This was my son. He was 17. I lost my grandfather. I was able to travel and be with family. We've had some other things going on at our house. Like it just, and I've been able to focus on my coaching business and start to get that up and running. So it has been a blessing. Now it's starting to look backwards and say, okay, this was a good decision somebody else made for me.
yeah. Yeah, it's so tough to have that kind of like optimism, optimistic point of view. Why do I always fumble on these live streams, Heather? Like it's like always like every time like we do these, I'm like, "Bleh, I can't talk. But um, it's so so important for you all to, if you're in your job search, for you to know that it, you really, it sounds cheesy and it is a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason, right? Cliche for a reason, that you're going to be able to pull out from it. And if you are watching and you have a job and you are secure in your role, you're not searching. What I will say is the people that that are searching, check in on them. Please check in on them. They may be hiding it. And again, I'll share a tip that I use before I hit the record button for the guests that I interview is, we'll say hi and I'll say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And they'll give the usual like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing good," or like, "It's all right, like things are fine." And then I'll ask them again like, "How are you really doing?" because especially for us in the United States, we're so used to just giving a generic answer. But to dig deeper, it's so important for us to dig deeper to figure out like how are people actually doing in our lives. And if you know someone that's job seeking, like guaranteed they may be having a good day, they may be having a bad day. It's such a roller coaster. Whoa, don't spill your drink.
That wasn't my drink. I don't know
Okay.
I think it was my charger. Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna disappear for a moment.
No, you're a kid. So I mean, other than that, I mean, we don't really have too much. We have, if you're again still with us, feel free, drop something in the chat. Happy to engage in conversation from there. If you know someone or you yourself are job hunting, I will throw the links up. Feel free, our fancy phones, QR code this stuff.
Scan those links. Scan those links.
and send it to them, or you can sign up again if you're job hunting. We're always accepting people, and if you want to find a way to stand out, we found this is a great way for you to stand out. Yeah.
Speaking of other uses for the podcast too, so my new boss, we're connected on LinkedIn now, and she saw that I had my Hire Me podcast featured on my page, and so she sent it to my new coworkers and then my new team. Like, what a great way for them to get to know me and know my personality, as I come into a new organization. Now, I don't have any from them, but that's okay. Like, that would be really cool. Like, let's do a swap. But I was like, I had several people from my new team reach out to me, and one of them told me that she sent it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's amazing. Like, thank you. Because it takes a little pressure off me in terms of they already know how I am. They already know that this is what you get. I don't have to like be like, like putting up that like, all prim and I am pretty prim and proper, but you know what I mean? I don't have to put on that like very, the mask that's not me. I can come in and I can be me. I can wear my confetti glasses, and it's a good day.
I don't have confetti glasses. I'm sorry. I've just got my plain thin black rim glasses.
Well, you have lots of cool blingy things behind you from all of your races and such. So I feel like that's always a celebration behind you.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel about it.
Yes. Well, I appreciate it. I know it's always a celebration. Recognize me. I did things.
I did not paint any of these.
I actually did have someone be like, is that a virtual background behind you? I'm like, no, this is all. I literally went like, this is all real. There's no blur. There's no no CGI stuff here happening. Like, yeah.
I get asked that a lot too. Yeah. Is it real? Yes. That real. I can now touch it. No, I can't. I'm not that close. I've moved my desk.
This wall is like 8 feet behind me, so definitely can't touch it. I actually, that's a great tip though, Heather, is if your space allows for it in your home or wherever you live or wherever you might be, let's not put a home around it, but wherever you might be, if you have the ability to quickly throw some things that are very personal behind you, that is a great way to not only break the ice, but share something about yourself without sharing anything about yourself. Like, it's a great introduction for people. So I will leave you with that tip for if you're job hunting, throw some stuff behind you. Everyone has a white background. Yeah.
Yeah. Make it fun. Make it personal. I feel like I've worked from home for so long, like since 2015. So for me, like, I'm so used to being on camera, like I got to keep it interesting for myself too. So, and hi, Chris. Welcome.
Yeah. What's going on, Chris? Oh, Chris actually, yeah, Chris was one of the more recent
Yes.
individuals that got a job. So again, you know what? Here, Chris,
Yep. Give
you're
it.
online. Congrats. Cheers to
Yep.
you. We're all, toasting, and it's Friday. We figured it's Friday. We can have a late drink. It's all right. Well, Heather, I know that we had discussing a, gosh, my words are bad. We had talked about discussing
A
oh
buzzword.
gosh, what's the word? A buzzword. Oh my gosh. A corporate buzzword that we don't like seeing in that we needed to break down. But I think we're already at time. And
Yeah, I feel like we'll hold it for the next one. Oh, let me ask. On Monday, are you doing a solo?
I am doing a solo. I'm working right
Okay.
now to wow, words are really not coming to me right now. I'm working right now to tie down someone, not tie down someone. So bad.
To line up a guest?
Line up a guest, thank you. I'm working right now to line up a guest for Monday. So for you all, I'm still going to, Heather is starting her new role. So we're going to let her have, time to onboard. I am going to hopefully have a guest, and we'll chat on Monday. So we will be back on our regularly programmed Mondays starting next Monday. And we'll go from there.
And I will join. I should be able to join normally. I have new hire orientation, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I gotta be present to win.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We're at that like ridiculous giggly phase now. I think we need to close it out.
It's
So
the
Heather,
Friday Funcast.
yes, yeah. Any last words? Gosh,
Um,
any final thoughts?
Final thoughts for today. I just, I appreciate all of you, all of the support you all have given the show, and thus far. And I am excited to continue helping elevate top talent and get more people connected and send people, new roles. We've been posting roles that we see on the Hire Me podcast feed. So watch out for those. We're trying to spread as much as we can of those open roles out there to everybody, and more to come. More to come from us.
Yeah, so much more. I actually have 2 guests that I need to edit and put out there. And then Heather has one that'll come at some point next week as well. So again, it's not like we're stopping this work. And Heather, I won't add on much to what you just said, because otherwise I'm just going to butcher my words. I've been butchering my words for the last 10 minutes. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you everyone for joining live. It's been great chatting with you all. Thank you for engaging in the post. Again, if you're watching this after we've already recorded, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching this. If you're listening to this, make sure you're following us as well. And we will talk to you all soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.